Being a part of the Moments Capture Workshop team was phenomenal. Just being able to, have a part in getting everything together behind the scenes as far as how the day activities were gonna unwind, picking a venue, all of that went into what turned out to be a phenomenal event.
I think back and reflect on from the beginning, from the, infant stages of just as a concept, from a basically phone call conversation between me and Sean where, I was able to share dreams, share some aspirations, and he chimed in on some similar aspirations and dreams. And so from there, we just, put the team together and started putting it together. Jerrold Daniels came in and really played an integral part. So it was really a three-headed monster that started off, but then we teamed up with the rest of our conglomerate team, and it really just manifested in such a great day.
Probably the best thing that I enjoyed the most about the workshop was the fact that so many people felt like they learned, something from it, and they really enjoyed it.
If I was to think about the actual day itself, how it started out with people, everybody seemed to have expectation and excitement, and we was able to get there and really do some different things and really, act out what we had planned. And that was to really have a workshop where everyone was able to be involved and not just sit there and listen to us lecture, but get some knowledge, get some teaching, but also be able to go out there and really showcase what you learned.
I know Mike and I, we do a lot of event photography. Man, you only get like one chance. Or when I'm shooting a wedding, what I'm gonna tell the bride to go walk again? Hey, excuse me, sweetheart, listen. listen. Baby, can you go back one more time? Yo, I get one chance to get those shots as she coming down the aisle.
Your more expensive cameras, you can go a little higher on the ISO before you start seeing grain, as opposed to like if you're in the Canon, if you start shooting with Rebels and everything of that nature, around 800, you're gonna start seeing some grain, you know. Now when you start getting to the full frame cameras like we use, I can shoot literally at 5,000 ISO and get very little grain in it. And so these are some of the things that definitely, distinguish the difference between the higher end camera and the lower end camera. But sometimes you don't have a choice. Sometimes you can be in a room where it's just so dark that you have to bump at that ISO.
You can see it starting to get grainy. Getting grainy. And just like Mike said, that really depends on, your camera and, just the level of camera it is. And that's another thing, guys. Man, whatever y'all shooting on, don't rate it to anything else, y'all. Shoot on whatever you shoot on. Learn how to shoot on that thing. Don't say, oh, my photo's not looking like Mike. They don't look like Cheston photo. They don't look like Sean. If you're shooting on a camera that's, whatever, $500-600, it should look different from a camera that costs a few $1,000s.
But I will say this, I started out with a Canon T3i. And that first year I had that, I did revenue over $35,000 just with that. So you can make money with it. But if you master that camera, your client won't even know the limitations of that camera. So you can direct your client to do what your camera can do. Like there are plenty of times it's like, yeah, that look good, but why don't you move over here? Because the sun over here, and I can get that thing down to 800 ISO. You know what I'm saying? I think it'll look better.
At one point, I feel like everyone was there where, you just got a camera, you just was getting, a little bit familiar with lighting, with angles. So sometimes it doesn't hurt to have that person give you a little bit more push. So that probably was the best thing from the workshop, being able to come together with so many different peoples on so many different levels when it comes to photography and editing. And then just for everybody to just converge and be able to share ideas and thoughts about what they felt about certain things. I think that's what made everything just go together very, very, very well with the entire workshop. See, it's different stuff that you could still adjust. You see like your ISO?
Yeah.
You could pump up that ISO, come up on the number some.
So that'll let in more light.
It'll let in more light and she'll be brighter. Cause see like right now, when I look at it, see how it's like super bright on her right now.
Yeah.
So like if I take the picture, I know I gotta. You see how it's super bright on her? Like how you saying, it's almost washing her out. So I'm gonna try to dump everything down. I'm gonna bring my ISO down. I'm gonna make my shutter speed even faster because I wanted to,
Okay.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that picture right there, it's nothing wrong with none of the ones you took. It's just about, you gotta make them little adjustments now, because you can take in the same place. Like, come on, let's take one.
you guys take control of the situation. So you see where the light is, you turn her toward the light. Most of the time when you shoot with a model, they understand that type of directions. And so that's what I'm looking to see you guys do. Okay, who's gonna step up first?
I'm gonna tell you the first thing I usually do when I'm shooting people. She got beautiful hair, right? Usually when you're shooting people's face though, a lot of hair starts to do this to your shot. Everybody see how I'm looking? It's cool, but everybody see what just happened?
You only do that if she's pretty. I mean, that don't work for everybody.
But you see what just happened though? It gave it a whole nother perspective, So we doing stuff. So I gotta shoot, I usually try to back her hair off or something like that. I might say, can you turn to the side a little bit? Stay there, turn your body this way. All right, look back at me. Everybody see like you creating angles. I usually create angles just to try to do stuff. I might say, one thing that's gonna bother me this whole shot, y'all see how the sun just a little bit right here? So what I'm gonna do, can you turn this way just a little bit, please? Look what happened, disappeared.
Yep.
Now I don't have to spend another extra hour in Photoshop trying to do what y'all probably gonna do and get that sun off her face.
Right. And it's now the sun's acting as a highlight here that shows the highlights
you
of
see her hair now?
In her hair.
Now I give you that beautiful backlight like, oh, dang, that's dope. Man, how you did that? You did it in post? No, I just put the sun behind it.
So sometimes, if you got enough light still, you might take them to a shadowed area. To get that nice even tone.
According to like the skin tone of the person I'm shooting, that's how I know what type of backdrop or background I want to put them on. I'm gonna make all kind of sense. If you shooting somebody who's dark skinned and you really want them to pop off the picture, what kind of background y'all think y'all need to put them on? Light. This is all y'all gotta remember. Put them on opposite.
And so sometimes you might have them do exactly what you want, but just keep conversation going with them. Make them feel comfortable. Okay. You don't want to come off as the weirdo with the camera. Now, I'll be honest with you. Yeah. You don't want to be the weirdo with the camera. You don't want to do that. You want to be friendly, because what happens is you'll get real emotions out of it. Okay. You get a real smile out of it.
Some of the things that stood out to me was the mere fact of understanding that a lot of people had never received this type of teaching. So they had cameras, but they hadn't really been taught how to work the camera. And so when we got them outside and was able to really show them some different things about angles and concepts and the reason why you do different things, and those small things that made the photography that they've seen something that they wanted, but they couldn't understand exactly the little integral parts of what made certain shots better than the others, to be able to sit down and really and participate with them and help them actually be able to see what you're seeing, it was pretty phenomenal.
One of the things I always say, and I told them, trust your eye. If you like it, it's dope. If you don't like it, it ain't dope. Okay?
Because now if you open up the aperture a little bit more, where you want more stuff in focus, like, yeah, you just block that light, but now it's like, oh, this right here is coming right out of the top of her head. So with that, remember I told you about creating separation? That's why I come get on this wall and get flat. What's the closest thing by her? Way back there. You know what I'm saying? And then if anything, I'm gonna say, okay, hey, back up for me just a little bit so I can make sure I don't get that light switch in there. It's just a little bit, the little small parts about trying to pay attention to everything around it. So then when you do shoot that shot, look out the window. When you do shoot that shot, I want it to be a real smooth, tight shot.
There you go. Come on now. Come on, boy. Come on now. Yeah. That boy said, yeah. Dopeness. All right, let's bring somebody else in.
The students seem like they had a wonderful time, a great time. The feedback I've been getting is phenomenal. Everyone's asking about when's the next one going to be. Make sure that we're on the list so that we know that you're having it. Those are the things that you want to hear when you put together an event like this.
Having everybody enjoy themselves and having people walking away feeling like they learned something, gearing them up for when we get ready to do part 2.
What a great day, what a great event. Can't wait for the next one. We got the momentum going that's going to propel us to the next one. So see you then.